you have been asking so many questions of us about this investigation, and gosh, we have lots of questions too. KXLY4's Melissa Luck has covered a lot of federal cases. And first, we all talked about the incredible response from federal agents on this thing.
Yeah, we've heard about it from outside in the newsroom and from our own staff as well, just about the presence. In addition to the FBI SUVs and cars parked at the roadblock to Harpham's house, as we told you yesterday, the FBI even borrowed some equipment from the Stevens County Road Department to make it look like they were working on a culvert project to execute this arrest. And those agents are still all over that house and likely will be for several days. There are a couple of reasons for that, chief among them, safety, both for the agents and the person being arrested. I spoke with a federal source today who says gone are the days when agents would storm through the door with their guns drawn. They'll likely only do that if someone's safety in the home is immediately at risk, because they have time to prepare and plan they are going to take it. In this case, the FBI brought in its hostage rescue team. That's an elite team that can include experts in all facets of what they might need, tactical, explosive, hazmat. And that way, no matter what they encounter, they'll be ready with people right at the scene to secure evidence and process it. These agents operate under a theory of plan for the worst, hope for the best. It's always going to be better to have more people than not enough. Also, they get one chance to go into these homes and preserve the evidence that's there. They can't just take a little, expect to go back a few days later and have the scene still intact. So they will be meticulous and test everything they can, take everything they can, knowing that very little of it might actually be of use to them in the long run. Perfect example of this is the Unabomber cabin. They processed it at the scene in Lincoln, Montana. Then they eventually just put it on a trailer, hauled it to actually my hometown in Great Falls, about 90 miles down the road, and processed it there just to make sure they had all their evidence.
You know, we've had a lot of people also asking, you know, why don't we know more about what led FBI to Harpham? What kind of evidence do they have?
Yeah, and part of this is because that it's in the federal court system. Aside from law enforcement sources, we're probably not going to know a lot of detail for at least a few weeks. This case, of course, as I mentioned, is being handled in federal court, and that means first, we can't bring our cameras in, which is why you didn't see video of the court appearance yesterday. You won't see any video of court appearances in the future. It also means a grand jury will have to indict or formally charge Mr. Harpham. The grand jury only convenes once a month, so it won't convene for a couple of weeks here in Spokane. So the last thing the federal courts want is for information to get out and the jury pool to be tainted. Also, federal courts allow for a defendant to be held based on the information in the criminal complaint. So unless he argues for the indictment, which he did not, they will wait until that indictment is handed up. Parts of the case are still sealed. We're told they will likely be that way until at least after the indictment is handed up, if it is. And we've been told there's a lot more work to be done to determine if Harpham was a lone wolf or if they believe he had more help. They are going to track down so many leads that we will never know about. But I think things will come to light as we get closer, but probably more unofficially than officially.
And we don't want to do anything to taint the investigation either. We just want to get the information and get it to you as soon as we can.
We're as impatient as you are. So, we're doing our best.
Melissa, thanks so much.